Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another CJ Trades video. And today, as you can probably tell, I'm going to be talking about US soccer, but more specifically, US men's national team. And there's been a lot of stuff in the last few years, from the World Cup, missing the 2018 World Cup, and then the Nations League, which we just won, obviously. So I'll be talking about the future of the national team, all the drama going on now, and if the US can change their persona from kind of a cringy fan base to a real, legit one. And it all starts with the 2018 World Cup cycle, hosted in Russia, which obviously the US did not qualify for, but it all came down to one game against Trinidad and Tobago in 2018, and all the USA had to do was draw, didn't even have to win against Trinidad's B team. They were already resting many of their players since they were already out, they had nothing to play for. But as you're watching, crazy goals from Trinidad. They went up 2-0. USA was this terrible performance because 2010, 2014, USA had the Landon Donovan, Clint Dempsey, Tim Howard core of their team. Very powerful, and they had a ton of great World Cup performances, getting past into the knockout stages. But 2018, they were shifting to the Michael Bradley, Jose Altidore, Christian Pulisic era with the Wonder Boy Pulisic, but it was like an awkward era, terrible management, and the U.S. just could not recover in time with their team. A bad effort. It looked like no one was really trying. And then USA quickly goes 2 goals down at halftime, but they fight right back. They send the long ball in, and then Christian Pulisic, the Wonder Boy, he's been saving America that entire year, and then he rifles a shot into the net. And it was an amazing shot, amazing goal for the 18-year-old Pulisic. The best player on the team already at 18 is absurd, but unfortunately, it was not enough to get it done. All the USA had to do was score one more goal to tie, and they couldn't even score one goal against Trinidad's B team. Some say it was the bad weather, others say it was other factors and motivations, but USA could not bring it back. And this is the exact moment where I think the culture shifted for American soccer, or I could say football now, as the team was full of aging MLS players like Tim Howard and Clint Dempsey had a little stints at Fulham and Everton respectively, but a lot of aging MLS guys, where the culture shifted to European and younger guys like we see today.
Criticism. And the discussion after Brazil, Max, was can we beat the Colombias and the Belgiums and the Argentinas of the world? You kidding me? We can't beat Trinidad on a field that's too wet and too heavy? What are we doing? What are we doing? This is the discussion that's being had.
I remember watching this goal by Timo Weah to open the World Cup against Wales, and oh my god, we are so back is the only thing I could think of. And honestly, the USA did change. In the 2022 World Cup, we did make the knockouts. Obviously, a loss to the Netherlands, but it was fun to watch. The MMA midfield, all these young guys. Tim Ream was an MLS guy, terrible tackle. A man bun versus a man bun. Bale from Wales got the best of him. But Tim Ream, the other man bun, proved to be our best center back in the World Cup. He was amazing, but we did get that tie, or that win against England 0-0. And that showed everyone that we were in it for real. And England definitely thought they were going to destroy the group, which, you know, they did win the group. But USA showed that we were here, and we're here to stay. And I think we're going to shock everyone in the future as our players are only getting better. Weah, who scored that goal, another European guy, another young guy, gonna be in his prime. Pulisic, gonna be in his prime. The entire MMA midfield in Europe, gonna be in their prime. The entire team is only looking better, and getting Flo Balogun is absolutely huge. Everyone could tell in that World Cup the only thing we're missing is a striker, and debatably another center back who does not have a man bun. But it proved that the future is only going to look better for the U.S., and we have so many competitions like the Gold Cup or the Nations League that we just won to prove how much better we will get. And this is the official roster for the Nations League, which already is over, obviously, but you can see what I'm getting at. So the goalkeepers, obviously, but Matt Turner at Arsenal, great goalkeeper. The rest are just backups. But you can tell from the entire roster how much improved it is. I'm going to be showing the Gold Cup roster after, and we can compare the differences. But this really shows the depth we have. Every single position, we have guys playing in Europe. Every single guy on this team is young. Matt Turner is still not even that old for a goalkeeper. He'll be in his prime by 2026. But Everyone on the team is young, and that is the change we needed for the U.S. I think that Berhalter, a ton of decisions that people didn't love, but at the end of the day, we have a young roster that are ready to compete now. And these three guys celebrating the Nations League have one thing in common. All Arsenal players. Trusty on loan, still an Arsenal guy. Balogun on loan, who killed it in France, almost got the golden boot there. And then Matt Turner, who former Revolution guy, now at Arsenal as a backup. But this is the culture shift. These three guys with the gold medal. When was the last time you think a U.S. men's national team would have three Arsenal guys celebrating the Nations League together? It's great to see and really represents the shift we're going to continue to see in the future. Like Taylor Booth, a young guy looks so great. So many young European guys that will be helping out the team in the future. But the Nations League really documented the growth of the U.S. national team, as only a few years ago in the last World Cup cycle, we were losing to just bad teams in the region. But now, thrashing Mexico, beating Canada. It's just really showing the growth of our team with all these talented players. Balogun now, who's even scoring goals. So many great players like Scally and guys who didn't get any play. He has been amazing. Obviously for the U.S., he scored this goal against Canada and a 9 spot. And so the U.S. has a great future with him in the World Cup. Sargent, Pepe, Ferreira, like the strikers, Haji Wright, some of them were okay. Ferreira was, I think, the worst striker performances I've ever seen, especially against Netherlands. But Haji Wright's okay, Sargent's okay, but Balogun is a clinical finisher. He's explosive, he's strong, he can make smart runs towards goal, as he scored this goal here. But I think he's the future up top and will really highlight our top 6. Because we are leading with Balogun at the 9 now. Pulisic, Gio Reyna, Timo Way. All these guys on the wings and up top create an amazing attack. And with the MMA midfield, Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, Yunus Musa, 3 guys playing in Europe who are all amazing together. If you combine that with Pulisic, Balogun, Aronson, Reyna, Weah, so many combinations now, all the depth we have, it will create an amazing attack where it's of Jose Mourinho, Vieira, Zidane, like so many guys from Europe who were offered this job. Obviously, it's unrealistic to think they would have taken it, but so many options. Even keep BJ Callahan until he messes up. I know we have a long time to go until the next World Cup in 2026, but I just really don't support this decision. I think he's great tactically for the first 45 minutes of every game against Wales, against Iran, against England, where we were just, and in the Nations League too, or sorry, not the Nations League, just the World Cup, but under his tactics where we were like progressing the ball well, keeping the ball, and then we looked great, honestly. We outperformed Wales. We outperformed England for the first half. I will admit that. Obviously, we didn't score, but we did play better than them. But every single one of these games, terrible substitutions. Like Shaq Moore should not have been playing. We have Scally, barely played. Gio Reyna barely played. These guys kept getting playtime, like Shaq Moore, who just weren't good. Everyone could tell they weren't good. Zimmerman started every game. He was terrible. He was absolutely terrible. And I'm not a huge fan. Every game, we had a great first 45. In the second half, terrible subs were brought on. And then he would just crumble every single time. It looked like we were just playing to survive, not to score, not to advance, but just to hold the other teams to only a goal or two. It's not really the way you want to play if you want to actually compete, because we're not Canada or Mexico anymore. We're there going to get to the World Cup and celebrate getting there and winning 0 games. Canada. But we have a future now. We have real chances to win. I would honestly put us up there with the top teams in the world. Obviously, we're not there yet, but I would take our chances against any team now with all these young guys who are only going to get better. We have so much depth. I can't support this decision. After the stuff about his wife, after the stuff about Gio Reyna, not saying that's all his fault with the Reyna situation, but debatably one of our best players, you have a coach that openly hates him and benches him and got blackmailed. There was blackmail going on. I can't see how you hire him again. There's so many options out there. I think BJ's done amazing right now, even as the interim manager. I can't support this decision, but I think he will provide results. I don't think he's the worst tactically. I think he has to fix some stuff like substitutions. If him and Reyna can settle their beef, give each other a nice handshake, and really like get to each other and accept each other's apologies, whatever they have to do, then he has a chance. I think he's great tactically. It's going to come down to all this stuff in the past with Stefan, with Reyna, but I am still hopeful for the future even with his tactics. So we will see how it goes under him. Hopefully a better stint this time. And now we look to the future, the next tournament, the Gold Cup. And obviously this is kind of our rotated side, our B team. A lot of MLS guys. Miles Robinson I'm a huge fan of. Cade Cowell is exciting. The rest, Busio had a lot of hype a while ago. Aaron Long, I never want to see in a U.S. jersey again. Yedlin played World Cup minutes, but a lot of these guys, like Jordan Morris, like great Sean Johnson, great MLS vets, but maybe just not really good enough for the national team anymore with our new expectations. However, I do think Gaga Slonina is going to be great. He's so young. He can be a great understudy for Turner for now. But I think the stuff like the Gold Cup, in my opinion, you get rid of some of these guys, the Roldans, the James Sands even, the Miazga, the Aaron Long, the Yedlin. Get rid of the old vets. Sorry, your time's up. Get them out of there. And you replace them with young guys. Guys in Europe, like Taylor Booth should be starting these games. Mihailovic should be starting these games, could be starting these games. Zendaya has so many upcoming promising talents. I can't wait to see them in the Gold Cup. But honestly, I don't think we're favorites with this team. I think Jamaica, a full Premier League front three, Jamaica looks amazing. Canada looks good. Mexico even looks good. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this team does because we have so much hype from the Nations League. People aren't going to like it when these teams are fielded with a completely different rotation of guys, but I will still be watching. I'll still be rooting for them. I just think the Gold Cup should be filled with, it's going to be a B team no matter what. I say fill it with younger guys to get that potential. And now the last question of the video, is there an MLS bias in the national team? It was under huge debate in the World Cup, as Zimmerman is losing us points. MLS guys like Shaq Moore are playing all these minutes, and people are just wondering why they're on the team when European talents are sitting on our bench, not getting any minutes, who are proven that they're great players. But many people thought it's an in-federation problem, as certain people with man buns were making terrible mistakes in the World Cup, and European players are just riding the bench, like Gio Reyna, who obviously had other underlying problems with the manager. But I think it is a federation thing that maybe isn't going to happen in the future. I think they probably already addressed the problem, and I think they could even see the problem at hand. But I think 100% it was a thing in the past where MLS players were unfairly chosen over other guys who were playing in Europe, and they really wanted to show MLS as a legit league, because that's still a thing that's happening today with Messi's transfer, all the European guys coming over, and the MLS still is trying to get that hype. It was a major problem where MLS guys were getting a ton of run, getting all these selections when they're really just not that good and they're old. And I think the Federation saw that problem. They addressed it. I don't think it'll be a problem anymore. But for the 2022 World Cup, 100% I think that was the thing. Shaq Moore, Zimmerman in the back line, making mistakes every game, just not looking good at all. 100% I think it was a problem. The number of MLS players, if you look at the 2018 World Cup cycle, if you look at their squad for the qualifications, majority MLS players. And look at that squad right there. There's like barely MLS guys. There's Zimmerman, as I say it, but Robinson in Europe, Pulisic in Europe, Aronson in Europe, McKinney in Europe. All these guys are playing in Europe and will continue to play in Europe and only will look better as they get older and progress. So that concludes my statement where the MLS bias was a problem for the last World Cup. Look at our squad right there. It will not be a problem in the future. We are going to continue to get better. But thank you guys for watching. I can't wait for the future of the national team. Comment down below what you think about the team. If we can win trophies in the future, how do you think about the Gold Cup, the squad, everything, and let me know what you guys think about the future of the team. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment down below anything you like. Subscribe if you want to see more.